G'day everyone, it's Max and welcome back to the Dyson Sphere Program Next. Because we are in all the next systems doing the final one, the black hole, here in episode 5.5. That's right, today's episode is all about doing the black hole sphere. And not only that, we are actually going to have a finished look at all the spheres that we've done throughout the series. And of course, we're going to take a quick look at each one, do a little bit of a flyby tour, because, you know, I like to do the flyby tour things and all the really cool stuff. And of course, we're going to also see the time-lapsing of a black hole Dyson sphere. And again, you know, it's a little design of my own whipping. Of course, it's nothing super awesomely great or, you know, pretty crazy, but I think it's a pretty cool fit to what it is you're trying to do here in the Dyson Sphere program. And with that, let's get into the game and let's get building this thing. Our adventure actually starts here in the Bat Crazy system. Yeah, well, I had to come back here just to kind of double check up on solar sails. Now, for a while, I've actually been diverting solar sails into these boxes over here. Once the rockets were all made, of course, then it would divert sails into the tower, which is fine, except the tower only holds 10,000. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to have a good backup stock of sails, just like I do with the rockets, right? So in this case, we have 60,000 rockets ready to go. You know, we just got a few thousand rockets. It's perfectly fine. I think there's 63,000, whatever rockets. So, of course, we wanted to make sure there were lots and lots of sails, right? You know, so, of course, these boxes, what's that, 2, 4, 6, 8, 1. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So, you know, we want to have, like, you know, about 100,000 some sails. And that's what it's still doing, all right? Now, I've actually started sending rockets, sending materials off to the black hole system. Of course, we are the cuts here are going to be a little quirky, but that's okay. We've already got the I've already got the other system set up, and it's kind of started doing a thing with solar sails because, of course, solar sails are one of them things that can kind of take up a little time. Now, the black hole from here is like 55 light years away. Like it's a long way. Like I have to stop 3 times just to let Icarus all charge up again to actually get to the planet from here. So we're going to be I just had to come here. I had to double check all the ins and the outs and the things and the stuff because, of course, each of these lines is shoving in 1,800 a minute, and which is important because you know, I have lots of solar sails being shot every minute at the black hole in the black hole system. So of course we had to make sure that everything's kind of running just tickety-boo here. We don't have any real problems at the moment, and everything looks good. So what I will do now is I'm actually going to cut away. The next cut you'll see is me actually showing up in that system, I think for the first time. And that's fine. No problem with that. So then, of course, after that, the next cut you see after that is with everything all set up. And, of course, we'll take it from there. With that, I'll meet you at the black hole system. Hang on. There's always something exciting when it comes to stopping at a black hole. Something always pretty cool about it. And we're just gonna make a little quick pause right here. Boom. That is totally wicked, isn't it? I mean, it is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Yep. definitely movie worthy. I'll give the developers that one, because yep, that is pretty cool. Now my black hole only has one planet, and that is this planet. So let's jump on over here. Whoa, look at the power of that! Just pulling you right over. Wow. Okay. Are we gonna be able to hit this, or is it gonna pull me right along? All right, there we go. Wow. Like, the planet is pulling away from me because I'm going too slow. Okay, there we go. Okay, are we gonna get on this planet? There we go. Get on there. There we are. Yeah, it's basically a frozen rock. That's pretty cool, though. I mean, does it really emit light? Is that a thing that it would do? I don't know, right? You know, I mean, there's light here. I mean, like this planet and its rotation. What is this planet doing? What is the scoop on this planet? I mean, it's got nothing. It's nothing specific. It's orbited. I mean, this thing is just flying right around. I mean, look at the movement on it in the background. I mean, it's got movement, right? Orbit, like it's orbit, like it's on. Like, am I on my side? Is it on? Oh, okay. Here we go. So yeah, it's got a little bit of a tilt. Nothing too serious. It's got I'm assuming it's got a really fast rotational period, which is why it seems like you're quite dizzy on this thing. It's almost like a roller coaster. But that's pretty crazy. You know, I'm all right with that. These unipolar magnets. Everybody talks about them, but I mean, look. I mean, I don't know. I myself, yeah, all right, whatever. You know, I'm not gonna break myself to go find them. That's for sure. But anyway, yeah, we are here. I'm gonna set up. I'll bring it back just before we get started, and once we do that, we will start the pew pew process. Pew pew. As I'm now going sideways here, it's it's crazy. All right, I'll bring it back here shortly. Okay. Yeah, what does a planet look like when you've got about 170 suns running on it? It looks like this. This is what a planet looks like when you've got a lot of suns running on it. Yeah, we're not going to have a power problem this time. There'll be no such thing as power problems. Nope. We've got a couple hundred pew-pew guns here, of course, shooting off the solar sails. And if we turn this way for a second, you can see there's a lot of... there's actually 3 orbits, but only about 20 guns are doing orbit 3. The others are doing 1 and 2. I would show you this, but this is going to be a surprise, so I don't want to show it to you. I've been putting up lots of sails, though, because we're about to launch a lot of rockets, and it's about to go crazy. I mean... I've got what 250, almost 300 launchers here. Yeah, we're going to launch some rockets. Let me tell you. Now, the way this is going to work, of course, is we're going to do a full time lapse. We're going to do a full time lapse and all the good things as we go through, and it's going to hopefully build me a thing. Again, my designs are never really fancy or anything like that, but I think this one's pretty cool. It's kind of a fitting tribute to this save file, and so I'm kind of hoping everybody enjoys it. There'll be a couple interludes. Of course, all of the Dyson Spheres, including this one, will be finished by the end. And we're gonna stop a few times throughout through the pew pew process, and we're gonna have a look at some of the other spheres, of course, now in their done state, right? Of course, you know, we've got the ones in the ridiculous system, which of course was my starting system, and everybody's seen that one, but they haven't seen it really in a nice view in a while. Of course, we've got the Bat Crazy system, which of course is literally the casino system, right? Because there we go and gamble our hydrogen away for deuterium all the time. It's pretty crazy. I'd say we get a good return. We get a good return on our investment on that one. Of course, the Slav system and the red giant. Of course, they're all done up now. And each of them is going to get a nice little preview shot in the whole scheme as we go through some of the previews, while this is pew-pewing away and launching a lot of rockets, right? Because that's the cool part, is the launching of the rockets. So, to make that happen, this should be that's the line for the fuel. And let me tell you, I'm a little worried about the fuel. Yep. We are literally going to be using all the fuel. I think when we get this one done, I think all the planets are just about done, because we are sucking up all the gas on this one. Yep, that's for sure. I'm surprised I didn't put them rockets down there. Well, you know what? That's okay. I can do that right now. You do rockets. Yeah, there you go. And the reason is because I've got these depowered on purpose, so as they can't, so as the rocket launchers wouldn't launch rockets until I was ready for them. So even though if the rockets are down here, they're just going to run along the belt, and I'm just double checking to make sure that all kind of works like it's supposed to. Yeah, like that, right? And sooner or later, that strip. That strip has to go all the way around the planet. Yeah, that is a thing that it is doing right now. I hope. Yep, there it goes. It's working its way around the planet. And, of course, once it does, then we are going to click on the switch, light the tires, and all the fires, and all the things. And it's gonna be crazy. Come on, dude, you gotta get out of here. I know them things are big. But yeah, we probably got a whole whack load of solar cells up there, and I really don't want them to start going bad, because, that would be bad. So I want them to find all the ports they can. And this should be really exciting stuff. I'm very excited to see exactly, how it all plays out with that many solar cells up there already. Because there got to be a good, there's probably a good 30,000 up there already. So we'll see how the ports all do. Oh, there's the big autosave. That's probably a good thing. There's a storm here tonight. Boom! There go the rockets. Did you see them? They just went right by. Okay. We got a storm here tonight. So if we do lose power, I may have to do this again. But you know what? If we have to, we have to. Wow, 19 power poles, huh? Good thing I didn't mess that one up too badly. All right, here we go. For all the money and the variables. Let's click that. And we'll zoom out to see this. This should be pretty cool. Yeah, there we go. By the way, there's a big lake here, so I couldn't put rocket launchers on it. I had no fill with me. I know, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, I definitely gotta say that is pretty cool. Okay, well, okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty nifty. Yeah, that's pretty cool. How fast can you launch a lot of rockets? Well, just like that, I guess. No, I don't. Just take me there. Show me this. Yeah, be cool. Be cool with the black hole. Be one with the black hole. Okay, zip up and around like that. So of course, as always, we like to have a little bit of zoom in, but not too much zoom in. The planet does have a fairly big orbit, so we're not going to be able to see the planet going around on this one. Look at this. It's already starting to build. This is what happens when you launch a lot of rockets at once, right? Boom. With that, we are going to start the going fast forward process. And we're going to, like I said, we'll probably take a few cuts in here and there. We'll chit-chat a little bit about the other Dyson Spheres, as well as where we are going next. Stay tuned, enjoy the show, and We'll chat shortly. So, with our first Dyson Sphere, of course, is the home system, and of course, it always has a little bit of a close place to me because my first day in the game was pretty roughshod. It was pretty crazy all around, and that's because I had been playing so much Satisfactory, yet DSP works so much more like Factorio. I was having a really hard time with the transition in my mind that first day, and that's because I started at 3 in the morning, so you got to give me a little bit of slack on that one. Now, of course, you could always say that the sphere was never actually finished, or oh, you didn't fill it completely in, and all that stuff. But soon after, designs were coming out all over the place that weren't totally covering the sun, of course, and again, I never worried about those kinds of comments or any of that stuff anyway. But yeah, this being the first sphere, it has a little bit of a place in my heart. It belongs to the home system, which is where we'll end up here at the very end of the episode, and yeah, it has something a little special for me. The Death Star Dyson Sphere, for sure. Oh, yes, the Bat Crazy system. The system you go to gamble your hydrogen into deuterium for. And I mean, this system has treated us really, really good. It still pumps out rockets like crazy. It still does around 200 rockets a minute. It's doing about 2,000 solar sails a minute. I just have to let it run for a few hours, and then suddenly I've got 60,000 rockets to launch at something, and 100,000 solar sails. This is a great system. I mean, this build, it's not overbearing, so it doesn't do 10,000 rockets a minute or anything crazy like that, which I think is a decent thing, because then I think that's overtaxing all your crazy resources. I think between 200 and 500 rockets a minute is actually a really good build if you want to go pretty crazy with it. So with that, I'm really happy with the Bat Crazy system. I think everybody who's been watching the series is. It's just, it has delivered exactly what I wanted, and it's been really, really awesome. You just gotta be impressed with the system overall. This system was a great system. The volcanic planet was a great planet to build the massive build on. And then, of course, we had the Jungle Planet, Bat Crazy 3, with all the oil and all the craziness there. And I mean, there's like over 1,000 oil machines on that planet running all the time. All the time. I know, it's just... It is pretty cool. I mean, it is really cool about how everything is just running on that system all the time. In fact, I must admit, the developers did a really good job with how just all the automation that's going on all the time in different solar systems at that. Like, I mean, you go back to a place like 5, 6, 10 hours later, and it has done the things, as a programmer, I'm always impressed. I'm always impressed with, people's skill and all that stuff. And I must admit, they did a really good job with that. So yes, the Bat Crazy system, the casino system with the casino ball. I mean, if it wasn't for all the gambling of hydrogen deuterium here, we would not be able to do the rockets and the solar sails and the things that we do here. It is pretty cool. So let's have a look at another one and see what we get out of that. Oh yes, the Savvy system. Yeah, the first system we did just because we could, because that's how savvy we are. It's like, you know what? There's a blue star. Let's throw a Dyson Sphere around that. And of course, we did. We threw a Dyson Sphere around it, and that's a thing we could do now with the Bat Crazy system being able to provide the rockets and the solar sails. We would just could go to a system, and of course there was a request to say, hey, could you do an O-type system? And I was like, you know what, I can do that, because that is one of the things about this entire series. It's all about the interaction with everyone, and of course, there's been lots of commenters on the series. I've tried to comment to almost everyone in return, and hopefully I didn't miss anybody, but if I did, I'll try to catch you on the next one. And of course, we can just, we could just go to systems and set up. And this is a pretty cool sphere. It's a little bit hypnotic, that's for sure, especially at high speed. It's one of those things. But let's do a little bit of a flyby just to have a look at it. So again, I just one of those things is that we could go to systems and we could do a few things. And as mentioned, at the same time, I want to just say a piece about commenters and the whole 9 yards. I appreciate all the comments. Again, I do try to answer as many as I can. And this star was really cool. Now, and you got to remember, on the very first day, I literally just jumped in game, took the very first seed I got, and I ran with it. So I didn't get to really super huge blue stars in my system or anything like that. And of course, we're about to have a look at the next system that we threw a Dyson Sphere around. And it's a little bit bigger than this one. But of course, that's why we do more videos with more series, because you just never know what the next one's going to bring. I know, huh? And of course, we're going to be putting more Dyson Spheres around more different types of stars. Hopefully in the next series we'll get to choose a couple different type stars. I'd like to do a blue giant, of course. Hopefully we'll be able to do that in the next series, and a couple other things. So with that, but this was a really cool one. I was glad to take the request and do it for someone, and of course, there's feel free to leave comments. It's how unfortunately my mind reading skills are a little old, so it's how I can see what's going on out there. Let's have a look at the next one. Now, you know what's really cool about having a YouTube channel? You can put your own logo on a Dyson Sphere. I know. And we chose the biggest red giant I could find in this entire map. So this sphere is humongously huge, and it's pretty cool. I must admit, it's pretty cool that one of them little fun side projects about being able to throw up a sphere is that, hey, you can even throw up a design of your own creation. And that's pretty cool. Let's do a quick flyby on this one, of course, so as we can have a look at it. So in this particular case, when I arrived in the system, with a red giant, it was like, the color scheme and all that stuff. It'd be really cool if I could find an orange-purple star, but chances are I wasn't going to get that creative. But you know what? When I seen this, I was like, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. It's one of those things you can do. Hey, I'm a YouTube creator, and I play crazy factory games and simulation games. And turns out you can make any pattern you want on a star. So this is what we're going to do. So at the time of this recording, the sphere, the sphere isn't small, but it is clipping a little bit through the star because the star is so big. That's a little bit weird. But that's okay. With that, let's now get back to the finishing of the black hole. And so that way we can see it all wrapped up. And at the end of that, we'll have a quick discussion on all the cool things. And I'll talk to you shortly. It's almost fitting that the black hole has all of our systems in the background as we're getting ready to fly by it. This whole game, the whole premise, the whole adventure of this save file has been really one of it is pretty speechless actually. We started off in a single system, making and learning a bunch of things. We then went to another system and literally put down an entire factory just to make Dyson Spheres. That is pretty cool. And then, of course, we've gone to other systems and we've put down spheres of different designs just because we could, which actually is pretty nifty. Including our wonderful one here. Which I think the lightning bolts actually, are pretty fitting for for a Dyson Sphere, aren't they? I thought it was a pretty cool touch myself, but and this thing is still emptying out solar sails. I was pretty sure I stopped them things like a couple hours ago, but it is still shooting solar sails. So that's kind of a weird thing. I don't know what to tell you on that one. I would have to actually go look that up and fly around to a lot of places. But the recording, this has taken me over a week to put together. Obviously, it takes, multiple hours to record all the footage. And then you have to time speed it up, right? So then that takes a whole bunch of time. And then you got to do some more editing on it because the initial time speed isn't quite enough. So you got to do a bunch of other things. Then, of course, I'm doing that 4 times. So there's a whole bunch there. It's been a long week to put this together, but well worth it. Like I said, this game is just... I could go on all day. And I would probably never be able to say all the things I want to say about it. It is just awesome. So what are we doing? What are we doing next, right? I won't be able to use that title anymore. Next, right? So what are we doing? We'll say towards the end of April, early May, I am going to be doing a new series with the Dyson Sphere program. And of course, this series is going to be different. And again, I am leaving a little bit of mystery to it. It is not going to. I'll give you the free hint. It is not going to have 64 stars in it. Let's put it that way. So the default setting of 64 systems. Yep, that is not going to be in the next system. That's for sure. And so we're going to hopefully be able to do something with it. So that's actually pretty exciting. That is really cool. That is just really cool, right? It doesn't get much cooler, I'll tell you right now. So I am looking forward to doing that series. I'm looking forward to the scratch, right? Getting started all over again, having to figure now my build technique is so much different. As much as I'm not a big mall person, I've been working on designs for malls, and I'll be coming up with a few tutorials over the next 30 days. I can literally, within my first hour, have an entire mall set up. That's where I am now. And it's pretty cool. I've been working on my hydrogen builds. I've been doing several of those. And anything that's copyable. Now, as of the making of this video, there's a new copy mod out there, which is pretty crazy. It's just crazy. Now you can just select the entire ground and just copy everything. Could you imagine if I had that kind of copy mod when I was doing the deuterium builds? Oh my goodness. I would just make one whole line and then just literally planet paste that sucker. We would be done, right? It is very cool, and I might get to play around with that just a little bit. That being said, though, the early game, I don't know if I'll be using it. I still think it's important for anybody who's a new player to come along to see how the actual game mechanics work. That's why, when you see other people or other content creators, they'll start a game and then they're like, within the first hour they've skipped the first 22 hours of a game, right? And it's like, well, nobody really learned anything out of that, right? Yes, that first day I played this game, it was pretty messy. And I got a few pretty rude comments about it. But you know what? Lots of people get to learn lots of stuff. That was for sure. That was the way it is. And you know what? I'm not worried about that anyway. So I am perfectly fine, especially in the early game, still taking it kind of easy, the whole 9 yards. So as, early, those who are only casual players or those who are new players or whatever will always get to see no matter which series you're watching, just how the ins and outs of the game actually work. And that's the thing I do. Now, with that, I mean, wow, this is going to be a thing. We're going to transition here. We're going to transition here now to the ridiculous system. I'm not going to end it here. I'm going to end it where I started, and that is in the ridiculous system on Planet Max. So I will see you there shortly. I mean, to look at this planet, come on. It just looks cool. It just looks so cool. You see them builders out there today, and they're making their pretty little lines and all the pretty things. And then you come here, and it's like, what the beep is going on here? And it's like, you know what? That's what makes this planet so cool. I mean, it's just a scatter of things coming together to make something awesome. I mean, that's what made this planet so cool. You know what? I think that's the way everybody's first playthrough of a factory simulator goes. Whether it's DSP, Factorio, Satisfactory, or whatever. Time and again on Reddit and in other locations, you see new players for the first time going through. With, of course, what it was referred to as the spaghetti builds, right? You know what? I think you've got to do it at least a couple of times. I'm pretty sure you do. You got to do it at least a couple of times to learn the mechanics of the game, to understand what parts are more important than others, and to kind of get everything under control. And it is just awesome. It is just awesome. It is really cool. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody who's watched either some or all of the series. I appreciate it very much. Of course, YouTube, it's all data analytics, right? So, it's not like people are watching this, are keeping an eye on things nowadays and saying, there's a lot of people watching that person. No, it's just a bunch of computers in the background, and someone pushes a button once a month and says, hey, the data on this channel is this, right? So anytime anybody has left comments, or has, left a thumbs up, or, has hit the sub button, it has meant a great deal to me, and I am greatly appreciative of it. One day I might get to do this full time. Who knows? Today, of course, I still have a job and I have lots to do, but one day you just never know of a thing, right? But again, I want to thank everybody for watching, and of course, we're gonna bring this back. Like I said, the next series, it's gonna have a little bit of a twist. It's going to be a little bit cool. I hope everybody enjoys it. And of course, we're gonna build some factories and build some Dyson Spheres, because that's what we do here. We build things, right? We build things and make things. I'm Max. This is Dyson Sphere Program. All the series, and I appreciate your viewing. Thank you very much. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Take care.